Well guys, the day we've all been waiting for is here. We're driving the Evo today, regardless of conditions of weather, regardless of anything. I'm getting in that car when I get to the shop. I'm firing that thing up. I should probably put some the rest of the lug nuts on it. Torque the lugs. I need to torque the CV axle nuts, and that's it. Hop in the car, maybe check the oil, just make sure, we're good there, and drive it on the street. Now I do need a steering wheel for the car, and that's not a big deal. The Evo 9 has a steering wheel in it, of course, and I'm not opposed to removing that steering wheel, installing that wheel in the 8, so we're able to go on our drive. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm excited. You should be too. 167 foot-pounds on the axle nut. $90 foot-pounds on the lug nuts. Last thing we need to at least just take it around the block, go half a mile, is a steering wheel. Just a nice old OEM 9 wheel. That's quite the temporary setup. Well, other than going and driving this thing, I don't really know what else to do with my life. So let's go do that. That sounds fun. Under her own power. This is absolutely absurd. Wowza. It's out of the freaking shop. Now, of course, I wish the roads were a bit more dry, but it's not right. It ain't raining, there ain't puddles. Just look at this thing, man. My power steering don't work. Right off the bat, we ain't got no power steering at all. It's like the pump is gone. Must have been that Niemela rebuild special. Okay, I have a goal of 0.2 miles. Alignment's a bit off, imagine that. It's very, very cold, imagine that. Okay. I should probably get I'm just gonna buy a new power steering pump. We got ample oil pressure. Hopefully no one comes up behind me, because I ain't getting out of... let's do second gear. Neighbors trying to think I'm crazy. It is freaking cold out here. Ain't no way I'm driving this thing to the glass shop. Oh my lord. The grandma liked it, that's cool. It sounds so damn good. Brakes need to be rebled. Clutch could use a little bit of bleeding. Yeah, there's definitely some things to fix on this car. Clutch, brakes, power steering. What else? Is that it? That ain't bad. Provided we ain't got any leaks. Let's pull it back in the shop. I'm at 0.3 miles. I wonder what I did wrong on the power steering pump. I swear I put it back together how it was. But very clearly I did not. Reverse works fine. That's great news. E-brake hardly works. It needs to be severely adjusted, but that's okay. Why does it sound so good? I'm gonna go check for leaks. Wowza. Nothing obvious right off the bat. She's finally out of the freaking shop. What a sight. World's cleanest car next to the world's biggest pile. New power steering pump has been ordered. Let's see about fixing the other issues with the build. .3 miles and back in the air she goes. Hopefully with no other leaks or anything weird like that. We have one leak and one leak only, and thankfully our only leak is that right there, which that is still the power steering pump. Not gonna worry about that because the whole pump's getting replaced. The reason I don't really care to mess with it is because if you guys remember back to the blue Evo 8 build, I tried to get that power steering pump working like 3 times. And I finally got it, but it was such a nightmare that it's giving me PTSD just thinking about it. So, like I said, man, new pump's on the way. If I can get the brakes to work properly, something's going on with the gas pedal. I don't know if it's just, I need to go compare it to the Blue 9. I don't know if it's just the throttle plate spring on the throttle body itself is stiffer. The pedal is just stiff feeling, and I don't really like it. And then the clutch needs to be rebled as well. Let's dive into the throttle first. Figure out what is going on there. I'm also very used to drive-by-wire, of course. The majority of the cars are drive-by-wire. So here is the S90 throttle body. If I just disconnect the cable, is it a cable problem? Let's see how it feels with no throttle body. Okay, well, it's a throttle body thing. So either I have to get used to it, go back to a stock throttle body, or go to drive-by-wire, which entails doing a standalone. I don't want to use stock throttle body. You can very clearly see the difference in spring. There's the S90, and there's factory. That one is probably a good 50% thicker. I'm gonna drive on it. I'll see if I can get used to it. If I can't get used to it, like I said, we have options. I could also take that spring, I'm sure, put it on that throttle body, and that would fix their issue. But I just have a feeling that one has a stiff spring for a reason. Let's go ahead and fix up the hydraulic system, brakes and clutch. Should be easy to resolve. I had a feeling that as soon as we drove the car, it is gonna need to be rebled. It's kind of typical, I feel like. So let's get her on the ground, get our lug nuts loosened. I don't dare impact those things off. A little too spendy to slap an impact on. Get the brakes rebled, clutch rebled, and then we can go on another drive and see if that's all fixed. Let's get this thing pumped up. 30 PSI should do the trick. Look at that manifold. That thing's looking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, there we got 30 PSIs. Passenger rear, first thing that came out was air. So that's good. Nothing worse than mushy brakes. Don't forget, if you got an Evo or any Brembos, you got 2 bleeders. Driver side front, driver rear, definitely some air. Ooh, a lot of air. There we go. Finishing off the brakes with the passenger front. I know, a very odd sequence of bleed. While the system is pressurized, we can go ahead and knock out the clutch system as well. Now, I don't know if it's so much that the system needs to be bled, or if it is the clutch pedal just needs to be adjusted. But I'll bleed it anyway. Well, that was a lot of air, so that's good. Get all this air out, boy. Okay. I also need to get the water out of here, get some actual coolant, antifreeze in this whole girl. Water's fine for a period of time, but especially being an iron block, if you leave it in there long enough, you will develop rust issues. And I ain't trying to have a rusty cooling system today. Now here's the important part. If you're gonna use the pressure bleeder or that system in general, when you pull the bleeder off the car, your reservoir is gonna be maxed out, completely full. So you do need to get that drained down a little bit. Easiest way to go about that is to have someone just hit the brakes once, pop the bleeder, open a couple times, get that fluid down, and you're good to go. Before we put the wheels back on, we need to adjust the e-brake shoes. So, I wish I had a piece here to show you, but there's this little thing that if you twist, it expands, and you can get to it by the hole in the rear brake rotor. If you spin the rotor all the way to the 6 o'clock position, you probably won't be able to see on camera, but you can kind of right there, that zinc plated piece. So my thought process is I'm going to spin it and expand it until the shoes are hitting the drum, and then back it off a few turns. Make sure it's not binding up, make sure it's not constantly wearing, and we should be good. E-brake works a touch right now, but it definitely needs some adjustment. All right, so it's spun all the way out. As you can see, it's all locked up. So I'm gonna go in, let's say 5 turns on both sides and see how that feels, and go from there. There we go. That's a freaking e-brake. Cool, that's all resolved. I guess we could put some wheels back on this thing, go for another drive, and see how she is. If the only issue remaining is a bad power steering pump, that's a pretty decent success rate for the build. I'm not disappointed, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and knock out another drive. Brakes feel billing times better. Clutch is an actual clutch. Maybe we'll go to a mile this time. What a beautiful cold start for the boys. I just wish I had power steering. E-brake is perfect. All the way tight, 5 turns backed off if you need to adjust yours. Got a hoodie on this time around so we can not be frozen solid. Hey, sun came out. So this is what happiness feels like, huh? I really want to drive it to the glass shop, but that is not happening. I think I might even just reschedule the glass appointment for next week. Why does this car sound so good? This ETS exhaust paired with the AGT turbo. Man, it's just a winning combo. You guys probably cannot hear anything I'm saying due to my lack of a windshield and all the wind noise. Hey, the dog liked my car. Ooh, camera almost flew off the hood. Hi, Remy.
I was like, what is that? You're actually driving it.
This is so cold.
Nope, no glass. Let's go for a rip. Then you can't do your window mount.
You trying to put your seatbelt on?
I don't know, it's a force of habit.
We're going 8 feet.
Alright, I'll just reply, this is fun.
You are chilling way back.
It's been so long since I've been in an 8 or a 9 that it actually runs like it's supposed to.
I was wondering why it's so loud. It makes sense, there's no rear window. I'm like, this thing's awfully loud in here. I love how it sounds though.
Yeah, it sounds good. Does this turbo have a pretty loud spool?
Yeah, it is gonna, it's like power steering.
Oh yeah, I like that.
It'll be a spoolie boy for sure.
Yeah. I love 8s and 9s so much.
Camera flies in.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if it's a contract, but I was just talking to the UPS guy. They don't work with Amazon anymore. Amazon is shifting to all internal for their shipping stuff. They don't outsource.
Big ballers. She'll be a ripper.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to drive it.
hell out of here. All right, I got to back it in the shop. You can grab my door actually if you want. All right, let's run through, before I end out this video, everything that is left to finish with the car. I need to get the carbon fiber stuff back for the interior. Not a big deal, not a big problem. I somehow misplaced the driver's side window switch, which is the master switch. Without that plugged in, none of the windows will roll down. So I need to get that. Power steering pump is gonna come Monday. So here, what was that, in 2 days? That'll be here then. That's the only other issue, like mechanically with the car. The car, of course, needs a tune. Full cut, wet sand, and buff and polish. Ceramic coat, windshield, rear glass. Did I say a tune? A tune. Tune is desperately needed. And I think I'm going to go ahead and build a set of taillights for the car. So that's really all that's left. Before I end up the video, I want to run through and thank all of the companies and individuals that have helped out with this build so far. Hopefully I don't miss any. Let's start out. ACT clutch, we're running the Mod Twin. Absolutely banger of a clutch. We run it in literally every single build nowadays. Excellent pedal feel, excellent drivability, holds like 800 foot-pounds. You cannot go wrong. Extreme Turbo Systems, we're running their intake, speed density intake, front mount intercooler, whole intercooler piping kit, full exhaust system, which all of these parts I will go ahead and link down below. You guys can hear how good this exhaust sounds. It sounds freaking perfect. JD Customs USA, you guys already know. I'm installing some of their titanium, and it feels like in every single video. They have an endless supply of titanium goodies for Evos, for STIs, and I do have a discount code through them as well, which is Niemela 10. I'll go ahead and link that down below as well. Silver's NA for the coilovers. Amazing coils. We probably have 5 or 6 sets on different cars in the fleet, and you cannot go wrong with some silvers. Radium, best company for fuel system stuff. Fuel rail, regulator, lines, anything. Hanger, anything. Brian Crower, BC, for all the goodies in the cylinder head. Art Gennari, AGT, 62mm dual ball bearing turbo. This thing is gonna make the freaking jam with this turbo. I can feel it, I can hear it. It's gonna sound and perform well. Of course, BBR tuned, beta built for the amazing base map. I think he's gonna come through tomorrow, and we're gonna do some drivability things just so I can actually get a proper break-in on this engine. We have a whopping 1 mile on the build now, 1 whole mile, and I really just need to stack some miles up, get this oil drained out, and get some fresh oil in this thing. And of course, my man Nick. I know you're watching the video. Nick's always helping out with anything electrical, anything wiring related. He is a freaking master at that kind of stuff. And without him, this thing probably would not be running because he's that smart. I'm gonna wrap it here. Hope you guys enjoyed the first drive video. Peace out, my good friends, and I'll see you boys in the next episode. Good night.